Hey there, comic book friends, I'm Travis. It's time for the edition of What the Fugue, where I talk about what's going on with me in my world of comics. How's it going, everybody? Another great week. I'm recording this on Comic Book Wednesday for, what is this, October 8th or something like that? Lots of good comics are out. I can see it flying all over the Twitterverse. And of course I have to wait until Friday to get my books. Killing me. I want my issue of Punks and Witches and October Faction and all the other books that are out. But anyway, so have to wait. So we'll talk about other stuff instead. One of the books that's coming out today is Batman issue number 35. I'm avoiding anybody who's already done reviews on the book because I want to have my own kind of open thoughts about the book. I've already started to hear some rumblings of bitching and moaning about it, so we'll see. I'm going to have my own informed opinion. You know, has Scott Snyder or Greg Capullo lost their mojo? Did they break themselves with the 0 year and can't right the sinking ship of mediocrity and confusion that they potentially have sown with the 0 year? I don't know. Looking forward to finding out. But one thing I was curious about is of course, I can't remember if the last What the Fugue or where I was having a conversation about the fact that for the next like 4 or 5 issues, Batman is actually going to be listed at $4.99. $5 comic book, which of course for most of us is way past the breaking point of where we want to really be spending, how much money we're spending on our comic books. And of course, you look at the fine print and there's either 30 or 32 pages in that extra $1. So there is that. I mean, so $1 per page, technically it's worth it if it's good material. You know, obviously, but still, that's a pretty serious chunk of change. And some people were questioning whether or not this was the beginning of a book regularly going to $5 as opposed to where a lot of them are running at about $4 now. You know, good news, I guess, depending on how I look at it. Both Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo weren't particularly happy with the price point on the book. Because, of course, all of us are concerned and very vocal about the fact that we're not real happy with that price point. So, sounds to me like they went to bat. You know, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo went to bat with DC and said, look, we need to drop the price point. It was too late to drop the price point on the issue that came out today, number 35, but the rest of them going forward are going back to their $3.99 thing. So, that's cool. I mean, that's cool if really, you know, these creators really did go out of their way to push that the book stay within a price that most of us consider tolerable. I personally think it's unfortunate if that's what happened due to, you know, some sort of pressure, and now they just got paid less per page. I'm not sure exactly how a writer gets paid per page, or if they get paid per page. I'm almost positive the artist gets paid per page. You know, I'm guessing that Capullo's contract still has him set getting paid a certain page rate, and he, you know, with his contract, he's contracted to do X number of books. So if normally he does 20 and gets paid X amount, is he going to get paid that same X amount for having done half again as much of a book? Even if you aren't super excited by Capullo or whatever, you still have to recognize that the man put in the equivalent of a book and a half's worth of work, and potentially he's only going to get paid for a book's worth? Or is DC losing the money on it? I mean, is DC the people that are taking the lump on the fact they're not garnishing as much money from the book? I don't know. I'd be curious to know that. Like I said, happy to hear that it's dropped in price. Especially happy to hear it's dropped in price if it's going to maintain its 30 pages, as long as those are quality pages. Not always having a comic book longer is always better. That may also mean that potentially something should have been edited tighter than what it was. I think some of us question whether or not, despite how much we bitch about editors and blame stuff on editors, that maybe 0 year wasn't edited well enough. I don't know. But, you know, at any rate, I think it would be a shame if, like I said, the creators are taking a lump and losing money on that. You know, giving work away free. I don't like giving work away free unless, of course, it truly is to some sort of a charity or to a better cause. My reading comic books, I don't think qualifies as a better cause. And I don't know how many of you out there. I mean, let me know if you love working for free. If you like doing your normal day-to-day job and you don't mind getting paid for it, awesome. Get in contact with me. Maybe I want to hire you because you know I can always hire people who want to work for free. So, or if you're working for free, how seriously do you take the job, right? So, there's that. Hold on a second here, off camera. Getting a drink, drinking it. Oh yeah, some tea. Let's see. Speaking also of DC, of course, talked about on the Comic Book Roundtable last week a little bit about the fact that with the end of September and DC's lenticular covers, their fancy 3D covers, they reported to make just oodles of money. You know, it was the best month they've had. They controlled, you know, all the market share, you know, pretty much, and they made the most money. You know, they won both ways, made the most money, and you know, sold the most product and controlled the market share, which is awesome for DC because I guess they've been sliding here recently. But reading some articles on a number of different places, you go back further, you know, how the whole sales thing works, you know. DC made their money, but it doesn't sound like that the store owners, the retailers, have made their money yet. The caveat is there yet. The lenticular covers didn't sell immediately like crazy pants like they did last year for the villains. I think probably largely due to the fact that this was well planned out in advance. There was going to be no shortages like there normally would be, like there was the year before, because they are prepared. They forced people to order the stuff extra months in advance so they knew how many of these things to print because they're harder to print and all of that. So that was all interesting to hear that. It sounded to me like that some of the more positive looking retailers were saying that they thought it would be a slow burn, that you know, a month afterwards people were still going to be pursuing and buying those books that were going to be filling out their collections and whatnot over time with those, getting those lenticular covers. So they weren't considering a loss, but a lot of them kind of acted like that they were at a loss, that actually some of the Marvel books at the retail level were making them a larger profit than the DC ones were. But largely due to their own mistakes on how many they ordered. Sometimes they ordered way more than probably maybe what they should have. Because the way these lenticular issues were sold differently than the prior ones. Whereas you knew if it was a Batman tie-in, like the Villains Month had, like, you know, Batman 24.1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Easier to sell those because it's part of the quote-unquote Batman line, so people who are the collectors are going to buy it because of that. Whereas there was only one, you know, Batman title this time around, you know, and you had lenticular covers for all of the books that when the Villain Months came out, actually didn't even have villain books for some of those things and stuff. So, you know, whatever. Be curious to see, you know, down the road, you know, 6 months from now, how many of you guys that have comic book stores are going to comic book stores and seeing those lenticular covers just sitting around. I haven't gone on eBay or anything like that just to look to see what you know, they're selling for. If they're selling for crazy prices, you know, like for a while there, like Joker's Daughter and stuff like that was selling for bonkers and stuff. But pardon me again. Anyway, let's see. That's the DC stuff. Of course, this week was also the premiere of Flash. I did watch that. I'm not a huge Flash fan. It was fun though. It was a fun show. I think it's you know, it's going to have its kind of CW moment, the way it's written up and whatnot. I think it's going to be a likable show because the actor who's playing the Flash, who's playing Barry Allen, is just a likable guy. He just seems like a genuinely likable guy. That makes it really easy to like the show. So we'll see. I'm not recording it, but I'll keep watching it for a while, or it'll be a hit and miss kind of a thing as far as that goes. Of course, tonight is Arrow, premiere of Season 3 of Arrow. Every season has been interesting in comparison to the season before. They actually show growth of the character, his maturity, his development, him going from being truly a vigilante, somebody who kills other people, to slowly becoming an actual superhero, having a code of ethics and that sort of thing. So I'll be curious to see what this season ends up being like. I'm sure we'll probably briefly talk about it, if nothing else, on Comic Book Roundtable, which of course will be on Saturday as per usual, the usual times, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern Time. Give me a shout if you want to be on the show. See if we can get you worked on to be in the show. Have to work through all the Google Plus stuff, of course, to get you on the show, but we'll gladly do that. There's going to be all kinds of good comics, I think, to talk about. I unfortunately don't have pretty much in the way of Marvel, if anything, this week. I think this is the week that I'm dry on Marvel. I know some of you will find that a shocker. So hopefully somebody comes on talking some Marvel books. I don't even know what's out this week, Marvel-wise. I mean, because there's all the, the ooh la la over, Batgirl, the new creative team on Batgirl. There's, the new weekly books for DC are coming out and some of that stuff. So, yeah, be curious. I'm curious to talk some books with some people and see what there is as far as that goes. What else is going on? Oh, just a reminder, October 25th, I want to say that is the Saturday before Halloween. Just a reminder, that will be the, now annual, we're calling it annual because we did it last year, annual Comic Book Roundtable Dress Up. I actually have my costume idea. I've just got to gather up a few things and I'll have my costume set and I'll be ready to go. Mr. John DaCosta says he's going to show up. He has hinted that he may be coming to the show dressed as one of the other members of the Roundtable. I wonder who that would be. We'll see how that works out. If he really does it or not. I'm not sure he will. But at any rate, that should be fun. Come along, dress up, come on the show and dress up, or don't come on the show and dress up. Right? We should be able to have a night of fun, whether you're a cosplayer or you just like Halloween and figure that's the time to dress up and whatnot. I was going to do Halloween-themed videos again this year. I have done that in the past for the month of October. Life seems to have gotten more busy this year than last, and I didn't get planning on it in advance. And if I don't plan it in advance, it's awfully hard to do it and come up with decent ideas that I haven't already done. So probably not going to see me dressed up as a zombie this year, coughing blood out. Probably not going to see me wandering around in the dark, a la Blair Witch Project, doing reviews either. Probably just going to be boring, straight, me just talking about my books as I have been. You'll also note with this video, there's no scary head floating around behind me. Some people seem to think that was a bit much. Whatever. It may come back again at some point. Some people actually liked seeing my goofy, pirate-faced, bearded self floating around behind me while I'm talking. But, at any rate, whatever. It was some fun. At some point, I am hoping to get back to using more of the green screen. My green screen isn't as good as 123 Comic Book Bros or Greco Fabulous's. Their green screen techniques are far superior to mine. I'm lucky I get mine to work at all. Mine is a green wall. I click a button on my computer. It blurs that out, and sometimes it makes other parts of my face look strange too. But I'm hoping to get back into that. Instead of me holding covers up all the time, holding books up while I talk, be able to have that in the background and be able to talk otherwise. So, who knows? And hey, maybe someday I'll actually go back to doing location shoots. I doubt that either, to be quite honest, because I'm busy enough, and it's going to be that time of the year where for me to do the reviews, by the time I get my books and to get them out reasonably within a week, press for time. By the time I get off work, it's dark out, so that really doesn't work very well. So it's hard for me to get out and do locations. I've got a couple dozen more locations to that I want to shoot at that I've found that I think would be interesting or amusing as background noise while I'm talking. But I don't know if I'll ever get to those. Maybe if Ethan ever gets back to getting caught up on comics. He swears he's going to be caught up by next March, because next March is when Emerald City Comic Con is. and he wants to be current on all the books by the time that happens. I don't know if that's going to happen. He keeps getting new video games, so or drama, or learning to drive, or whatever else. So yeah, I still haven't gotten my daughter to read Gotham Academy yet to get her opinion on that. So hopefully I'll twist her arm or something and she'll read it, and I'll get her opinion on it to relay to you if I can't get her on camera to talk about it. And of course, I'll see if I can get her to read Batgirl, the new Batgirl, when it comes out too. I'm hearing rumors that it might not be teen focused, kind of a thing, but a little older group than that. But I think it still works for. I think it'll still work for what she might find fun to read in comparison to what she's been reading as far as manga and stuff like that goes. So, anyway, with that being said, I don't think I have anything else to talk about this week. Don't got anything extra special or fabulous going on. So I will catch you all the weekend. We'll talk some comics. I'm still working, trying to figure out how to get my comments to work better on the Comic Book Roundtable. If you have suggestions, please let me know, short of me stopping the video, or not stopping the video, but stopping the conversation midstream somewhere and me loading up the YouTube page and refreshing it to try and take a look and see what I can do. I just try. The show ends up being so long, I kind of want to just let it flow and be and go about its thing and catch comments as I can. But it seems like after about the first half hour, the comment feeder quits feeding the comments to me. So I've been kind of using my phone to try and check the comments as they hit my email. But even that's hard sometimes, and I feel like I'm not paying attention to the other people that are talking in the hangout with me, and I don't want to be rude and be ignoring people either. So anyway, yeah, excited by YouTube, excited by the people who are here on YouTube talking comics. Like I've been saying the last couple times I've been talking, just keep finding great people to listen to, talk about their books. Just really tickled to find some really smart people who like interesting stuff and are interested in having a conversation about that stuff that they're interested in and whatnot. And to me, that's just really cool. I feel very fortunate. So have a great one, everybody, and catch you on the weekend.